Posting a market update for the week ahead. So today is Monday, the 16th of May. Some really nice moves across the market over the last sort of week or so. Beautiful trades. For those who follow me on Instagram, obviously saw the big 500 pip trade we caught on GBP JPY with us securing most profit down here right off of this 156.5 level, and then we secured a little bit more up here, and now we have some partials running as we look to sort of wait to see where it's going to go, if it's going to move higher or lower. You know, we can look to hedge it or we can look to scale in. Either way, anything going forward for us in the mentorship program is a risk-free trade. So for example, if this was to come down here and we were to take a buy, you know, this would like for example like this, something like that, and then this moves up higher. If it was to lose, you know, this would continue to move in profit. Or if you end up taking a sell from, let's say from up here, you know, it would carry no risk because we would continue to profit on this. But if it was to lose, you know, we would then have this to secure a profit and cover that loss. That's the beauty of trading the program, as well as I teach you guys how to manage your trades step by step based on what we see in the market. That way you learn how to trade actively, whereas a lot of people, they learn through courses. And while that's all good and well, a course doesn't teach you patience, and definitely, you know, is you know, experience is the best teacher is what I'm sort of getting at. So for those who are interested, obviously the mentorship program, the enrollment is still open for that currently. Another trade we took last week in the mentorship program was on USD CAD. Pretty devastating. We took this trade, actually wicked us out, a big fake out move here. My Zern's not on here currently, but big fake out move, and then ended up playing out. So to our next target, that'd be a 1 to 12.6 for 315 pips. Currently, it's floating around almost 200 pips, 190 pips for 1 to 7.5. So it's just another example of the big trades we catch within the mentorship program. Like, we don't do 1 to 2s, 1 to 3 is the minimum we do. Our average trade is around a 1 to 7, 1 to 8. You know, another pair that we trade Euro NZD, well, not even that, NZD USD. You know, we've caught several trades in this, but to cover, like, there's one trade that did a 31.3, and another trade which we have a little bit running reached a total of 18.1. So just, you know, we catch crazy moves, but, you know, it's so simple for us. You know, I focus on what the market is doing. I don't get caught in a bias. I'm able to sort of monitor with what the market is doing, and just flow with the market. You know, this is the point of trading is, you know, we don't get emotional. We just trade what we see, not what we think, which is, I believe, a huge factor to the success of not only myself, but my students. Let's have a look at some pairs, okay? Really, really good movement over the last 2 weeks. Very, very clean moves. Super easy, just markets flowing. So let's have a look at the dollar. So go to the 4 hour here. Dollar is very, very bullish. Okay, now I know we're at yearly highs. We are at highs we have not been above since back, I think it's like 2003 or something. It's like crazy. 2002, yeah, 2003. Otherwise, the last time we even came close to this area was in 2016, and then again in 2020. But even then, like, we're talking wicks. Like, we are way above 104 right now, which is crazy to see. So right now the dollar is very, very bullish. I do believe if it's going to reverse, it will do it from here. But for now, until I see the price action that indicates it, keep trading it as bullish. Okay, right now, very, very simple setup, in my opinion, coming on dollar pairs, especially when looking at DXY. Clear break and retest of 104, 104, 200. So we can see some bullish price action here. We should be able to see a continuation at least back up to this 105 region, if not higher, which should give some really nice entries on pairs like AUD USD or NZD USD or Euro USD or even USD JPY. Any sort of USD correlated pair looks like it might give some really, really nice setup. So watch this here, see if you can get some bullish price action in the lower time frames for a move higher on the dollar. Otherwise, as always, there's always two scenarios. Let's say the dollar does break lower, then we simply just look for this, which means we could see the reversal occur from here. Okay, keep it very, very simple, guys. You know, you don't even need, like, I very rarely even use trend lines. Like, I barely even use fibs. Everything comes down to numbers, comes down to price, and just how the market moves from zone to zone. You know, less is more. I believe a clean chart is a profitable chart. You'll never really see trend lines. You'll never really see fibs on my charts. While they are useful and they definitely have their place, you definitely don't need them. You really don't. But again, you know, they're not wrong. Okay, they like I said, they do have their place. So that's why you never, someone asked, like, why don't you have trend lines or why don't you ever use fibs? Don't need to. I just don't need to. I'll sometimes chuck a fib on there just to see what lines up, but I don't really use it. Like I might use it for every 10 trades I take, I might use it on one. And even then, it's already after I'm in the trade. Like everything I do is based off of price action and numbers and just simple setups. Everything's rinse and repeat with how I trade. So watch that. 80 USD. Okay, so broke back above 0.69, coming back up the retest structure here after this big sort of fake out move. I would be looking for sells, okay? At least what I see happening is, I know we're very, very bearish on this, okay? It does need a pullback. We are at like weekly levels, I get that. But what I kind of see happening, sort of scenario one is, let's assume this doesn't break lower. I would at least suspect to see this kind of push down back down into here, and then maybe we can see the move higher from there. So what I would be looking for here is sort of price to maybe do something sort of like this on like the 1 hour or the 2 hour, and they can look for a sell down into here. And then if the price action occurs and gives, you can look to hedge this by taking a buy up into here. So for example, let's say you take a sell here. If the price action occurs, of course, 15, 20 pips, 25 max. It's an easy low 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and then you'd be looking for a buy down here. Upon price action, you could look to hedge this. You could bag, 3 or so percent, let the rest run, hedge it, and then look to buy it. And if this was to break back up into here, be a 1 to 8. But I think we're going to start seeing some corrections on some pairs. It certainly looks that way. It looks like we're going to see AU go up higher overall, NU as well potentially go up higher. We're at crazy levels right now. Like we've just completely fallen off the face of the earth on AUD USD. Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar have been so weak over like the last 2 or 3 months, just melting. But what goes down must come up. What goes up must come down. Okay, we have to make those lower lows. We have to make those higher highs, right? So watch for that right now. Other scenario is, let's say price doesn't give. Let's say it kind of blows through, and simply look for the retest to take this higher. If this is to break higher, I do think we will see this 0.718, 0.72 region hit. So make sure you're watching this. I think this is lined to be very, very nice setup for the week. So just wait to see what price action occurs, and you can look to maybe secure some really clean entries on that. CAD JPY. Now remember, CAD JPY is very, very bullish right now. Go to the weekly, very, very bullish. We are starting to slow down. We are at yearly highs, just like GJ. We've not been back here since May of 2015. It does fall. It looks like it tends to reverse from this region. Based on here, you can see every time price kind of pushes up into here, it tends to reverse and have that corrective move. It needs a correction. So what I'm kind of favoring right now, again, I never trade with a bias. Right now, I could be looking for sells, but on the next 4 hour or daily close, whatever it is, I could flip my bias to a buy. So as of right now, what I'd be looking for is, I'd be looking to see if price can pull up into here, and then you can look for a sell move lower. Okay. Otherwise, if price doesn't give that, I'd be looking for this to pull back down in here. Like let's say it doesn't push up and give you in test here, it comes back down. I'd be looking for a retest to push up into here, and then you can kind of view for the sell. For the sell, I'd be wanting to see kind of price push up and kind of do something like this, right? Like that. Kind of give you those 2 or 3 taps in the structure. Yeah, that's what I would be looking for. So pretty clean price action, but a little bit more needed on this. This isn't anything urgent. This is probably going to be a Tuesday or Wednesday trade, depending on what price action occurs tomorrow. But a bit more price action needed, as it's kind of floating between zones, not the cleanest. So come back, keep an eye on that. Wait till it kind of pushes up into this 100.8 or 101 region, and then you can kind of view it from there. Otherwise, it will come back down to this 99.8 or 100 region. Next pair, quite interesting. Okay, let's go to the daily here on Euro JPY. Now, again, I kind of favor downside on JPY pairs overall right now. I'm seeing corrective moves lower on JPY pairs. As you guys know, I'm holding partials on a GJ sell that did 500 pips last week, but we've had a bit of a pullback. What I'm kind of viewing right now on Euro JPY is, now remember the week before last, I said look for buys here. That ended up pushing up. I actually gave a pretty clean sell from here, which I didn't cover. I didn't post last week. We were swamped in the mentorship program, just trade after trade after trade. And generally when, we're popping in there, I try to put all my focus into that. But what I would be looking for right now, okay, this is kind of a messy scenario, is we're back above this 134.5 level. So I would technically be looking for buys, but just be aware that what we might see is price push up off this level into here, and then you can look for a sell off of this 135, sort of 135.2 region. That's kind of what I'm seeing. All right, now let's say that price doesn't give you the buy setup, then you'd be looking for this. This would be the perfect setup for the move lower. because then you would see it come back down into this sort of region. Okay, we kind of wicked into this 132 region here, 132.5, and then we just kind of blew back up. I do see this, if this goes higher overall, I do see this hitting again and then moving up, but we'll see. A buy from here could easily push right back up into here. So what I would want to see for a buy on this would be the price to come down like this on like the 1 hour or the 2 hour, give you some bullish price action, and you can look for a buy off of that. So this is definitely something you'd be wanting to watch, maybe Asian session or London. I mean, this could easily give an entry in the next 6 or so hours or 4 or so hours, depending on what price action occurs and how fast. Another pair I want to cover is USD JPY. This is what I had marked up 2 weeks ago. Look how perfect that played out. This would have been an easy sell right off of 131 region. Right there, you could execute off of that. Boom, easy 300 something pips on USD JPY. Would have been a beautiful trade. Nice little 1 to 9, 1 to 10, give or take. Right back into 127.5, 128. So what I would be looking for now is, it's on like a clear break and retest. This actually looks like it gave a really nice entry today. Really clean sort of double top, bearish engulfing right there. That would have been your entry if you were entering off of the 1 hour. Something sort of like this. And then boom, you're off. That's a nice little 1 to 6 almost, if assuming it doesn't break lower. Now keep in mind, JPY pairs, like I said, I favor a move lower, but this is also a USD pair. So if we do see a big move up in the US dollar, this could follow suit. So I'm assuming this trade is not gone. So what I would be looking for if I was trading this pair, I would be looking for another tap into here to look for some bearish price action, like the 30 minute, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, and see if it can give you like a higher time frame pattern on the 4 hour, the 2 hour, like that. Okay, that would be really clean. But this is really nice price action. Someone actually, I just saw it. Someone actually asked about this today on my Instagram when I was doing like Q&A, and thought I'd check this out for today's video. And that's a very clean setup. So I'll be watching for that. Otherwise, if price doesn't give that, and let's say it comes back up and tests, but kind of blows through with the dollar strength that might occur, I'd be looking for a break and a retest right back up into this 131 region here. If this was to break above, retest right off 129, sort of 129.5, right back up into here, and then from there you could look for the fall. But like I said, we could see JPY pairs push lower. If this is to move lower, and let's say this doesn't give another entry, then make sure you watch this area here, because it could easily bounce. Okay, this is a very big level of support right now, struggling to break that 127.5, 127.8 region. So make sure you're watching that. Another one, GA. I had a few people ask me this. Honestly, it's kind of messy. Not anything I really would want to trade. Very messy. Kind of stuck within a bit of a range here, right? If you were to box this off, you can see it's kind of within a bit of a range. If you want, you can look to trade the range. I personally wouldn't. This is pretty messy, and I would just wait for more on this. So I'll come back to this on Wednesday when we have the midweek update. For the news-wise this week, really not much. Just keep in mind tomorrow there's some employment and unemployment news. There's also a Fed Chair Powell speech tomorrow, and then Wednesday we have some inflation news here, along with some AUD news. But the big ones you want to be aware of is the Fed Chair Powell speech. Anything to do with the Fed would generally bring manipulation into USD pairs, along with CAD inflation. We also have GDP inflation as well Wednesday morning. That's it for now, guys. I will update on Wednesday with a midweek market update. And yeah, I'll be back to post this regularly. Have a great week, guys. Make sure you guys use strict risk management. Okay, that's a very important component to your trading plan. If no matter how good of a trader you are, if you do not use strict risk management and consistent risk management, you will not be successful and profitable long term. Okay, you're gonna have wins, you're gonna have losses. It's about having big wins, small losses, more wins, fewer losses over time. Okay, even a trader with a 50% win rate, really good risk management, and a high risk reward of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 can make so much money. And from there, it's just about refining your skill set to remove the losses. All right, guys, have a great week. I will chat to you guys on Wednesday.